please.
No problem. I was really grateful for the opportunity to connect at UNCSW 68 this year in New York with. And so while in that opportunity, I met with our international president, Miss Sylvie Ndongo, and she is the founder of the Cameroon section in West Africa. And she began to tell me a lot about the history and about the peace conference that they're concurrently celebrating and hosting alongside their 10-year anniversary, April 28th. And she asked me to participate and to present at the peace conference. And I told her that I was currently working on a presentation with Miss Teresa and several others about how water is life and water has no enemy, and that we will be making that presentation at the Triennial Conference this coming May in the US. And so we spoke about that. So she invited me. This is the letter of invitation that she presented me with. And so I'm looking forward to being there on the ground in Cameroon and with talking to my section on April 8th about how to get other U.S. sections involved. There are lots of things that could happen. We could, make donations while we're on the ground. But I just see it as an opportunity for WILF USA-wide to really engage in some type of diplomacy. Cameroon is currently experiencing civil war with the Anglophone crisis, and we do a lot for Gaza, and that work is necessary. But we want to show up also where there are instances of war.
Okay, Kim. Okay. Because I wanted people to know that you received the invitation. And when I went to the WILF International website, it would be good to go there to take a look because WILF.org is featuring quite a bit about Cameroon because Sylvie and the others in Cameroon are doing a great job. But I believe there are now 19 sections in Africa, and many of them are war-torn sections. So the significance of President Sylvie attaching a peace summit to the 10th anniversary of the founding of WILF Cameroon is important. And that was kind of the main reason I asked you to let people know that you have an invitation from the Cameroon section based on your meeting them at the CSW 68.
Well, that's wonderful. And is there a chance you could go, Kim?
So I'm raising the funds as we speak. I wish that, I wasn't sponsored to go to New York. So I paid for that myself. And I wish I had just a few more months between this opportunity and my paychecks, but it's in April and it's happening later this month. And so right now I've gotten the time. So I have the time to go. I just need to actually raise the funds. And so I'm working on.
Yeah, when Kim told me about it yesterday, I pledged $100. That's about all my budget can bear for the month of April, because this is starting like April 22nd. So it's not long. Within a few weeks, Kim is going to be in Cameroon. So anybody who can support her, maybe Kim can tell folks how they can do that. But Kim does have a strategy of getting support from the DMV branch and then possibly asking WILF US through a letter to Darian to see if we can get something through the finance committee or somebody. And Philip is on the finance committee, so perhaps he can say if there's any possibility or if there are any obstacles to her getting support directly from the US section. So
Is
if
there
we
any-
could take down your screen sharing, and we can ask Philip if he knows what the possibilities are, since he's on the finance committee of the
Is there
board.
any knowledge of the cost of a plane ticket to Cameroon? A round trip?
So there is, I started putting together a small, I guess, budget narrative to kind of map out what everything really would cost. And so it's looking like it's just over 2,200. That in order to fly into a francophone country, you have to go through France because they own the airlines, unfortunately. And so it's not
Well,
as if
thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. So $2,200 approximately is the answer to the question. So Diane Blake, can we hear from you?
Yeah, so sorry, it took me a while to unmute. So Kim, why are you going? When you went to New York, you didn't go as a WILF person. You went with this teaching artist institute, I thought, and you're brand new to WILF. So what is your purpose?
So I didn't go through the local to global program, but I did go as a WILF member. I went there and I participated in We Are Stronger Together. That was the event that was happening while I was there on the second week. And so we did do caucusing. We did support the protests and for Palestinians, as well as that.
Well, hold on a moment, Kim. I'm sorry to be kind of checking you on what I call verbosity, but the question that Diane is asking is, I'm not clear. What do you mean, Diane? What is her purpose? Do you mean with the Teaching Artists Institute? Or she just joined Will on February 16th. So
Right.
she is just very new to Will.
Right. So I guess why are you going exactly?
So I'm going.
You're asking why Sylvie invited her. So why don't you say, I know why Sylvie invited her, because she is well known in Pool throughout Africa, and she travels back and forth to Africa a lot. And Sylvie was obviously quite impressed on meeting him that she would invite Kim. One of the newest members of Will to come to Cameroon as an African woman to be a part of their celebration in Cameroon. So that is what is the context for the invitation, Diane. So we have two hands up, Mary White and then Kim. And please keep your comments to 2 minutes or less. Mary White.
I was just wondering if we who are present can be sent some information on this situation so that we could maybe take back to our branches and request some financial support for her and where that support can be sent.
A very good idea and very constructive and productive. And so I'm sure Kim can arrange that, and I can certainly arrange for us to go out. We can't put it on the branches listserv, but we have a good list that George Friday maintains of lots of people in all the branches, because she is the program committee chair. So I don't know what permission she will need, but we could certainly send it out if there are no objections from President Darian. And I would ask George to make sure there would be none, because time is short. Go ahead, Kim. Thank you.
Yes, I just wanted to say that and I'm sorry, I know you said I talk too much. You said it in a real nice way, so I'll try to make it short. So I'll also, the Peace Conference is going to have WILF sections from across Africa. Even though it's happening in Cameroon, there are going to be so many different WILF sections from across Africa that are going to be there in Cameroon. And she asked me also to present during the Peace Conference. And I'm going to be presenting at the Triennial Conference in May alongside Miss Teresa around the concept of water as life. So Fela Kuti's Water Has No Enemy out of the Yoruba tradition. And so there's a spiritual element of peace and water that I'll be presenting about. And so through colonization, and I promise less than 2 minutes, Ms. Teresa, through the decolonization of education on the continent, there are elements of spirituality and culture and how they show up in organizing that sometimes prevent women of African descent on the continent and off from being able to embrace their culture as a tool in their efforts for peace and freedom. And so doing a presentation around that, I feel it's necessary, and it's such a sacred opportunity because it's not always an invited conversation. And so the fact that she would invite me to do that because she was following spirit. The time is short, the resources are small, but Miss Sylvie, as an international president, I felt like she was hearing spirit in that moment. And that is the kind of emergent thought that we need to really engage in this paradigm shift around what is right and what is appropriate and what is effective. And so I celebrate her for even taking that or for listening to spirit in that moment and allowing it to get us to this point where we're even talking about how to respond to this invitation that she made. So Ms. Diane, I don't know if that fully answered your question or if you can relate to that on any level, but I tried to answer it to the best of my ability.
Well, thank you, Kim, my African sister. The one thing in terms of following spirit, when I first connected with Kim and I asked her to join WILF, and right while we were talking, she went right online and joined. She got the letter from Darian and she sent it to me. So I know that Kim is a serious sister. And I know that when you meet her, you immediately know it. And Sylvie recognized who Kim Poole is. And that's how she was invited. And so I'm just so looking forward to all the good that's going to come out of this new moment in WILF, where we're drawing so many new people in. So Gloria Macmillan, I think you're the only person who didn't do the introduction before we kind of get to the closing announcements. Please introduce yourself, your name, your branch, and something good that's happened to you, particularly on this, as we say, Easter Monday down here. So
Hi. Oh, okay.
go
Hi.
ahead, Gloria.
Hi, I'm Gloria. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, good things that are happening. I'm experimenting with no water use plants. And that isn't a matter of human relationships, but I think it's important not only to focus on water and needing water, but look around us at those poor lilies of the field. I'll give a biblical quote there, who require no watering. And I'm finding some that they're studying them in the Mideast and in Africa and India, ones that we throw away, we poison and cut them. So just to put that in, I'm happy about that.
Well, thank you, Gloria, from the Tucson, Arizona branch.
Sorry. Yeah.
And I do want to say that it is a beautiful time for flowers. George, can you come on camera again and show those beautiful purple tulips? I love tulips. I don't think I've seen purple tulips that purple before. Could you show us? Amazing. That's an Easter gift from her family. And that is, it makes me want to go out and buy some purple tulips. They are so beautiful. And so are there any other announcements that people would like to make before we close out? George, do you have anything? I'm gonna be up at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning in the Wolf International thing. It's
Thank
gonna
you.
be 9 a.m. in Geneva, but it'll be 3 a.m. on the East Coast, but I'm gonna be up for it.
Yay.
What about you, George?
No, I could stay up, but my brain would be Swiss cheese. I'd be useless.
Any other announcements? Well, the first Monday in May is May 6th. So we will come back together on Monday, May 6th at 2 p.m. And I'm doing the Georgia thing in collaboration with CC Anderson. So we may have one or two speakers from the two groups I mentioned. So George, thank you so much. We're at 2:59. If you could save the chat and save the recording and send it out appropriately, we would appreciate it.
Will
2
do.
p.m. EDT is 11 a.m. Pacific. Exactly right. May 6th. See you then.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye,
Okay.
people.
Thank you.